Rambam, we're in the book of Avodah, divine service. We are learning the laws of the holy temple. The divine service was there. Maisa Karbonis, the offerings on the altar. And we're in chapter 16. So when a person vows to bring a large animal, but instead brings a small one, right, as an offering, he does not fulfill his obligation. If he vows to bring a small one and brings a large one, he fulfills his obligation. What is implied? So I said, I promised to bring a lamb as a burnt offering or as a peace offering. And he brings a ram. Or he vowed to bring a calf and he brought an ox, or a kid and he brought a goat. He fulfills his obligation. Why? Because inside of it is what you obliged yourself, right? It's something greater, not lesser. If he vows to bring a burnt offering, either from the lambs or from the rams, and brings a pilgus, which is, I think, a year old.
Sheep that is the age of 1 year.
Year old, right. 1 year, 1 month. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So he's not he's not a lamb anymore, but not a ram. A ram is older, right? There's an unresolved doubt whether or not he's fulfilled his obligation. Well, okay. Similarly, if one vowed to bring a burnt offering of a fowl from either the turtle doves or the ordinary doves, and he brought a fowl that began to sprout yellow feathers, which is of both species, there's an unresolved doubt whether or not he fulfilled the obligation, because it's not this or that. It has its own kind of category. If one vowed to bring a black colored animal and brought a white, vowed to bring a white and brought a black one, vowed to bring a male and brought a female, or vowed to bring a female and brought a male, he did not fill his obligation, because that doesn't include the other, right? Doesn't include. When one takes a vow without specifying the type of animal he is bringing, he should bring from the developed animals in the species he vowed to bring. Right, so he didn't say what specifically. So then you bring the older, more developed animals of that species. If in his place of residence, people commonly identify one type of sacrifices with a specific species of animals, he should bring the type of the animal brought by the animal of that locale. So if when you say a particular type of, that's the way it's referred to in that locale, then that's what you got to bring. What is implied? If a person vowed to bring a burnt offering from cattle, he should bring an ox. Like when you say cattle, right? What's cattle? So it means to bring an ox. That's what it was, the meaning in that area, in that locale. So that's what you bring. Should he say, I promise to bring a burnt offering? Should we say, I promise to bring a burnt offering if the practice of people locale is to use the term burnt offering without any descriptions of her, even to a fowl offered as a burnt offering, may bring even one fowl, a turtle dove or an ordinary dove, right? Because that's what it means when you say burnt offering, it means anything, right? Even a fowl, which is of lesser value than an ox or cow. If the practice is to use the term only when referring to the burnt offering of cattle, you should bring an ox. Similar laws apply in analogous situations. A person who vowed sick. A person who vowed to bring an ox, a ram, a lamb, a calf, or the like, should not bring the frailest specimen of that species because their value is minimal. Aha. Nor is obligated to bring the nicest, stockiest specimen of which there is no better. Instead, you should bring an average animal. If you're a frail animal, excuse me. If you brought a frail animal, he fulfilled his vow. Because the vow was to bring from that species. It's not the choicest way to do it, but you still fulfill your obligation. When a person says, I promise to bring an ox worth a mana, he should bring an ox worth an ana in that place, aside from the accompanying offerings. If he brought 2 oxen for a mana, he did not fulfill his obligation. His obligation was to bring 1. So you might think, but I brought the value, but it was the value of the 1 and not of 2. It adds up to the same thing, but it's not fulfilling your vow. That's the point, right? Following rules apply when a person says, this ox is a burnt offering, and it becomes blemished. If he desires to bring 2 for the price he receives for it, if he desires, to bring 2 for the price he receives for it. If he brings even 1 ram for the price he receives, he fulfills his vow. Why? Because he said that this is the burnt offering. Now he can't bring this, so his vow was for this. He can't bring this anymore because it became blemished, right? So now, if he wants to bring 2 for the price that he receives for it, fine. Or if he even brings a ram for the price he receives, it's also good. If he says these 2 oxen are burnt offerings and they become blemished, should he desire? If he says these 2 oxen are burnt offerings and they become blemished, right? Should he desire, he may bring 1 with the money he receives for the sale. He said 2 to begin with, but it was these 2. That can't be fulfilled anymore. So it's not about his vow anymore. Right? There's 2 points over here. There's the vow. Your words need to be fulfilled. In this case, you can't fulfill the vow. But then there is the value of what it is. That's also a point over here. So the value of it has to be fulfilled. So now that it's blemished, he can take the money they received for those 2 oxen, and he can bring 1.
Just the value.
Because that's the value of the sale. Yeah. So this ram is a burnt offering, and it becomes a wish. If he desires, he may bring a lamb, the money he receives for its sale. A lamb is less than a ram. A ram is more expensive. So he downgraded. Because why did he downgrade? Because he didn't get the full money because it's a blemished lamb, a blemished ram, right? So he didn't get the full money, didn't get the full value. So now he only has money to buy a lamb. Fine. So if he vows to bring a lamb and becomes disqualified, he may bring a ram with the money he receives for the sale, which is more. I mean, that's obvious, no? I'm not sure why he's brought that. Like, that seems to be an obvious statement. All right. I have to stop over here. Folks, amazing as always.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. God bless. All right, folks.